You ready? Are you videoing?
I am.
Okay. So the next set of fencing has been put up, and we've opened up this one little section right here. The kids and I are going to go around behind the back of the goats and try and push them this way. Unfortunately, I didn't measure out my fencing right, so I have an extra 100 feet of fence that I have to do something with once I get the goats moved. But anyways, hopefully pretty soon you should see a bunch of goats come through here and then head down the hill. We'll see. Yeah. So right now we set paddocks of about 1/2 to 1 acre up about every 3 to 4 days, and I use half of the netting fence for one of them and half for the one that will be directly following. And then when it's time to move them, we just take down that small section that's between the two and push them through. Right now we're not great at moving them from one place to another. This one's not quite as bad, but when we get into really thick brush, they tend to hide under some of the autumn olive trees and under the multiflora rose, and it's hard for us to actually work together as a team. I don't always give great instructions to the kids when I'm trying to tell them where to go, but we're getting better at it, and I think the goats will get more used to us over time, and they'll know as we walk behind them where they're supposed to go. And maybe if we're lucky, who knows, they'll get to the point where they're just excited to get new grass and new browse whenever we take that fencing down, and they're ready to go from one side to another. So it's a little bit more difficult, I believe, than just going straight on pasture, where you can kind of see everything that's going on, know where all the goats are, but we're getting better at it, and hopefully in time we'll get to where we can get it done very quickly and efficiently, and the goats will respond well to it. Because the other thing is, we don't want to stress the goats out when we do this. We want them to just move from one paddock to another and start eating, and so that's what we're working towards. It'll take some more practice, just like everything else, but we'll see.
And M&M. And Brownie.
And hash brown. I'm going down.
Well, I don't see hash brown yet.
Stay right there for a second.
Right there.
Is that hash brown? I thought that was a brownie.
Come on. Come on, goats. Come on.
I think hash brown's over by Dad.
Let's go. Come on.
There's hash brown. With the yellow.
Yep, that's hash brown.
Walk up on him. Walk up on him.
Hey, hash brown.
Oh, Daddy.
Come on, let's go. You're fine. It's okay.
It's snack time.
Pay her any attention.
Okay, let's count them as they go in. Maybe. Dad, they're going back around the circle, Dad.
Thank you. Come on.
Let's go, go.
You know you want to. Go on, M&M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's everybody.
And then
And then Cora.
Go on.
Cora.
All right.
We should have brought her food.
Cora, what are you doing? She says, this is my spot.
No. Laying down on the job. Come on. What are you afraid of? Is there a big bad wolf down there? Come on. Come on.
Come on, Cora.
Go, go, go.
Come on, Cora. There we go. Good job, Cora. Look at that. No, Cora, come back. Dad, you're going to come shut this?
Yeah. Is she on the inside?
Yeah, she's in here. She's around there. Look at that. Num-nums.
All right, so this is the mineral bucket, which just about every time I come out here is empty. Generally speaking, it's not because they're eating all of it, but it's because they keep dumping it over. I come out here and they're laying in it. When you're standing out here, they paw at it like there's something better on the bottom than there is on the top. Anyways, and they dump out, I don't know, probably half to 3/4 of what I've given them to this point. Mineral's not that expensive, but a 25-pound bag should last me, I don't know, 50 days with the amount of goats that I have. And right now it's going to last about 20 days. So I need to build something to put this in so that they can't flip it over. And I'm going to go ahead and put one of the waters in it as well and kind of maybe space them out a little bit. And hopefully put it on something that I can take from one place to another and it not be too hard to move. Okay, so I'm hoping that this, they can't paw it or hoof it. I don't know what you call it. I can pull them out, but they kind of wedge down in there a little bit. And the hope is just that they can't actually flip it over. I don't think they can flip this whole thing over. It's not heavy, but it's heavy enough. But then once I figure out how high their head is when they come in and eat, I'll put a little cover over the top of it too to keep them from climbing up on it, because they'll poop in all this as soon as they get a chance. They already sleep in the mineral bucket whenever I just put it out on the ground. So we'll see. Made out of wood left by the previous owners of the house in the basement. It's not pressure treated, probably won't last forever, but version 1 maybe of 1, and maybe I'll get away from this in the future, but we'll give it a shot. So at this point the dog is far more interested in it than the goats are. And I'm hoping that they'll come over and check it out, because the last thing that I need to do is figure out how tall to make a roof to put on top of it, both to keep the mineral dry and also to keep them from climbing up on top of it. I put this old doghouse roof out here hoping that they would climb on it and kind of help keep their hooves worn down. There's a tiny hole in either end, and I didn't think they would be able to get down there and get into it, but they have successfully multiple times gotten in and gotten out. And when I first came out here, there were 5 of them in there. A good chin scratcher too, isn't it? I didn't even think about that. Come on, get up on it. Come on, 2418. No. See, this is my house. That was biscuits and gravy that just went in, and it pushed butterscotch out the other end. I've never put biscuits and gravy in one end and had butterscotch come out the other end. Well, they seem to be liking it, not necessarily in the way that I thought they would, but doing a good job with it. 2405. Why are you always sleeping in there? All right, go on. They've been sleeping in the mineral bucket and sleeping or stepping in the water bucket. And of course, their feet are not clean. They step in, the poop that they lay down over the couple of days, three or 4 days that they're in each space. So then it's unclean, but yet they're still drinking it or eating it. So the other thing is these black tubs, the water gets hot and
evaporates, and then it's also hot, and I don't think they like to drink it as much whenever it's hot. I built the bottom section down here, which is just a little bit of a sled there, and I should probably attach a rope or something to one end of it. Anyways, they still slept in it, and they got up in it, and a couple of times they pooped on it, because now they had some wood to climb up on. So then I built the little roof section on top. This is all just scrap wood that I've got sitting in the basement, so it's not beautiful, but I have not seen any of them put any of their feet in it, try and climb in it. They've climbed on the top of it a couple of times. The water's not evaporating nearly as fast, and the water stays much cooler during the day. And Zipporah can drink out of it, the goats can drink out of it, and then the mineral is here because of deficiencies in the soil. So every goat needs trace minerals and certain amounts of them. Calcium, phosphorus, potassium, selenium, and copper. And the soil could have the perfect amounts of these things, but it doesn't. And I know here specifically in our area, and I think the Northeast in general, but I know specifically in our area, we are selenium deficient. I know we're copper deficient too, but specifically we are selenium deficient. So they need a mineral that has that in there, and they just come and they regulate it themselves. They'll eat a little bit most days. I try and put it in a place where they tend to congregate around most every time I pull them to a new paddock. This is loose mineral. You can see it's just a granulated mix of what they're looking for. Enjoy this. We're enjoying it. We feel very blessed. God's given us an opportunity to do this, and we're trying to do it to the best of our abilities. The kids come out every day, and they help bring water up to the goats. They've helped do medication for the goats. They've helped catch a few goats that we had to give medication to. They help herd the goats from one spot to another. And a lot of the stuff that I'm learning, they're learning at the same time. And so it's a good thing for us to do as a family. And so we're very thankful for that. We feel very blessed. Hopefully you enjoy watching what we do, because we enjoy doing it. And for anybody that will be a benefit to, as well as our friends in Atlanta that we left earlier this year to move up here and do this, we thought this would be a good opportunity to catalog some of these things. And maybe we'll look back on all this in 5 years and say, wow, we were doing all these things wrong, or we can't believe that we were gonna change and do this other thing whenever we got finished with goats, or who knows what we'll do. But for now, we're enjoying it.